play stupid games, win stupid prizes. If you if you remember a little while ago, I did a, brief little commentary on Paper Girls. It's an Image comic done by Brian K. Vaughan. Literally is 1988. There's Paper Route Girls, time travel, kind of time travel factions that are at odds with one another. Very sci-fi, little interesting thing. And Brian K. Vaughan really did his best to just placate the woke. He was placating neo-feminists and making all these girls just, little Mary Sues and authoritarian little girl bosses and very cringy and uncomfortable. There's this period episode that just, oh, it was brutal to try to even acknowledge that this happened. And then at the same time, I was discovering because you're googling information about the show or the comic. Anyway, I was googling about the comic and I ended up finding the show. So okay, what happened with the show? Well, Amazon had bought and did a show. Now, briefly wanted to point out the shows got canceled. Okay, and I kind of wanted to get to my thoughts on you know it is the irony is the very first part of all of this how they get together, their first night out, the night after Halloween, the interactions with the teens, um, them kind of stumbling upon different things, comments about the walkie-talkies, smart kids versus the kid that's on the wrong side of the tracks, and then this stuff happens. I got to be honest, that first episode or so was very faithful to the comic and was very, very good. I I actually was like, wow, okay, this is the best of what this show can be based on its source material. I thought, okay, this is interesting because I didn't know what they would do. Um, well, then what they did was they continually, oh, and this is the jump into the future, and she meets the future version of herself, the loser version of herself, played by Ali Wong from Beef. And basically, what happened is they cut out the time traveling factions. They got rid of the teenager thing. They completely rewrote all of that structure and the timeline that was being introduced to the girls. They're going to make excuses on why they did all of that. But at the end of the day, it ruins the show. Like it completely messes up all of the motivations and all of the character developments and everything. Like nothing at that point works. And I know what they did was Stephanie Folsom is the one that kind of got this off the ground. She's the one that was hired to write it. And she's kind of like the one behind it because she had worked on Toy Story 4. So she's got this great cred, they think. And that's all well and good, but the problem is when she handed it off to all these different writers to take on an episode here and take on an episode there, it's a bunch of JV writers who did just like crap work, man. I mean, no offense to all these people getting your jobs. Good on you. You got your check, but you delivered garbage and ruined even a chance for Brian K. Vaughan because this stuff starts off okay and then just turns into complete wasted time tripe before you start getting like their version of the lady bosses and who the different aliens are, which they're not really aliens, they're time travelers. This is like really bad, cheap Doctor Who neo-feminist nonsense. It took what Brian K. Vaughan tried and then just made it so much worse. I couldn't believe how bad this show got, how fast this show got bad. Because some of this stuff was actually in the comic book and was good, but they mess up everything else around it. And then this whole thing with Mac, right? Because is there's like I think a dead version of her, right? She finds out she's dead, but in the comic book, it's like she's a chain smoker teenager because she's a rebel, right? And in here, it's like, oh well, she's gonna go find her family, and it's this brother who was a scumbag who's now a doctor, and it becomes a plot point, and of course, this is what you ultimately get, right? This is what we all wanted, right? I couldn't believe it. I could not believe how bad it got. And you know what, Brian K. Vaughan? None of us should feel sorry for you, man, because you went there, you wanted to do this story, and they are going to take the worst elements of your story and make it more. You were never going to be woke enough, dude. You're a heterosexual white dude who's middle aged. You didn't think that you were gonna. I mean, I hope that you got a good paycheck and you're really really happy about it. And I know you thought, hey, Christopher Rogers and Cantwell and Brad Pitt's company, they're gonna treat me well. They're gonna do whatever, you know. Maybe you knew some of these names, so you really thought you were gonna get there and get some good stuff. But man, they took your they took what little interest that you could have done right and they made this so much worse. And I gotta be honest, there were episodes where I was fast forwarding and I actually was just laughing at how stupid it gets with the brother taking in Mac and obviously the lesbian storylines and stuff like that. It's just look at this. It's just it plays better in the comic book anyway. But the problem with the show is they mess up every element of their relationships, so you don't like these characters anymore. So in the show, I could care absolutely less if they die or they make it back to their time and their family. I don't care. And it is such an embodiment of what actually happens in Hollywood, Netflix, Amazon, Apple, obviously Disney Marvel stuff, but yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to put a pin in it because I did spend a little bit of my time enduring this. Total garbage, man. Total garbage. Got canceled. That's why I got canceled. It is total garbage. There is no reason to watch this nonsense. There was no reason to really adapt it if you weren't going to do it. Why'd they buy it? They should have just tried to adapt 6 or 8, 10, 12 comics pretty literally and then gone from there. But instead they woke it up, man, and killed it. So go woke, go broke? Question mark. All right. Anyway, I'm Pops. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching.